option to be virtual. Oh, I don't know who that is. Maybe that's Joel. 404-384.
Is it text or in
Text. Fighting a cold, so staying virtual.
Yeah. I'm gonna check that out.
Dr. Merriweather, can you hear me?
Yes, can you hear us?
Yes, this is Joel.
All right,
Um, Sorry, I'm fighting a cold, so I'm just going to take this one remote on Zoom.
all good, all good. Well, we hope you feel better, and we are live and recording, just FYI.
Great. Annette said she's out in the lobby trying to get in and asked if anyone can go let her in.
Someone just went to go get her.
Oh, awesome. Great.
I was so excited when I saw a picture of you with Heather and Jay. Oh, Heather's husband and I have been friends since we were 7 years old. He's and still one of my closest friends. Yeah, we were at Heard's Fair together, starting in 2nd grade.
Wow.
Yes.
They were at the 6th grade campus for our around the 6th grade event.
Yeah,
And they were the only two who showed up. So that was nice as far as the
right. And while I got to see Jay, she was excited. I got her.
Hey, no worries, no problem. All right, so I think we are good to go. Mr. Chair, whenever you're ready. Yep, we're already there.
Good evening. Welcome to Sutton Middle School's Go Team meeting, where we will follow the agenda as it has been emailed to you and publicly noticed. I would like to remind everyone that this is a meeting of the Go Team. Only members of the team may participate in discussion. Any members of the public present are here to quietly observe. For Go Team members, for members of the Go Team, please identify yourself when you speak. I am pleased to call this meeting of Sutton Middle School's Go Team to order at 5:42 p.m. Our first order of business is to call roll. The secretary will now take the roll.
All right, Dr. Merriweather,
Present.
Ms. Halton,
Present.
Sullivan,
Present.
Scott,
Here.
Lamar,
Present.
Williams,
Present.
Bryant, President, Iverson,
Present.
Rosenblum,
Present.
Bailey.
This team will only be able to take official action if a quorum is present. Mr. Bryant, is there a quorum present?
Yes.
Our first order of business is to approve the agenda. This was provided to you. Are there any changes to the agenda? May I have a motion to approve the agenda?
Motion to approve.
May I have a second? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, please say nay. Any abstentions, please say abstain. We will review and approve, excuse me, I'm sorry. We will review and approve the meeting minutes from our last meeting. The minutes have been provided to you. Are there any corrections? May I have a motion to approve the meeting's minutes? May I have a second?
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
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 All opposed, please say nay. Any abstentions, please say abstain. We'll now move on to the discussion items on our agenda. I'm so sorry. Okay. We'll go straight into our proposed strategic plan. Yeah, it's not line enough.
Okay, so we just jump straight into the
Yeah.
agenda.
Yes.
And so, again, the agenda is here before everyone on the screen, that we would jump right into. And so right now, we're going to shift into the strategic plan. So some of our action items for the evening, approving the agenda, which we've done, approval of the previous meeting minutes, and then looking at the strategic plan, and then of course, ranking the strategic plan. I was able to get the results. I know Mr. Lamar sent the Google form out. And so I was able to take that and kind of line up based on what people responded and shared, for those of you who could fill it out. Some of our discussion items, proposed program changes, finalizing the plan, and then ranking our strategic plans. So proposed program changes. Now, this is not anything set in stone. I just want to be transparent in sharing it. The team and I, the leadership team and I, Sutton, regarding DLI, we know that that is our dual language immersion program, and so there's conversation and thoughts about shifting what the DLI model is looking like at Sutton. If you guys are not aware, we do not get additional funding for DLI teachers, and so we have to take from our general funds and our other. We have to take from the school to supply and to have our DLI teachers. And so, essentially, in layman's terms, that essentially means classes are a bit larger because only a specific cohort can go inside those DLI classes. What the team has been considering has been having a model where DLI is done directly through connections only. And so, based on some of the data, based on just historical notes and things that we've observed, it might be beneficial to lessen class sizes. And again, we're becoming larger by the day. And so we're still growing, but looking at a model where our students will still have a full DLI program. And so my biggest thing is, for example, if a kid is taking 3 or 4 DLI classes a year, that will be the same. However, we're just removing the core content and it would just be in connections. And so consider, we have our art. We may bring a DLI home ec class, or we might bring a DLI business class, things that we're looking at, it can be real world application to. When we talk about if you're using the Spanish language and let's say you're in science, how often are you utilizing what you're discussing in science out in the real world? However, if I'm in a media arts class for DLI, if I'm in a DLI home ec class, or I'm learning how to cook, I'm learning how to grocery shop, is that more, can we apply that more than what our current model? And so again, some conversation around that. Nothing has been set in stone, just reiterating that, but just out of curiosity, thoughts about that and hearing our kind of discussion on how we're looking to shift what the model is at Sutton currently.
So would they get served like the DLI curriculum, if you will, just one period every day? Because connections obviously is that first period on A days, first period of 2 days. So would they only have one DLI class? They wouldn't have like the DLI, the either in the science or in the DLI. I know the English doesn't matter. I think that's certainly a place where I think you don't need to have that. But would they still be served DLI in science too?
So science would be taken out.
Okay, so they would only have one class a day that was being taught in Spanish.
Yep, and it will be instead of from 55 minutes, it will be 90 minutes
Yeah.
because it is still during the connection part.
Okay.
Now, question, would this be a year-long, like how some connection classes would this be a year-long
That
connection?
depends. I think that's up for, further planning as far as year-long or semester-long. I think depending on, let's say we were to shift, it would just be, I think it might be in the best interest to have semester-long. So kids could get multiple options, again, if we were moving teachers to different connections platforms.
So what if the DLI could be placed in the orchestra? So would they not do orchestra?
No, so you would still have orchestra, but you would just have DLI. So essentially, when you're opting in because you have year-long orchestra. So you would have that, and if we were to shift to a semester DLI model, and then they would just have the DLI, which they wouldn't get the traditional PE, the health. They would kind of just be stuck into those that bubble for orchestra and DLI.
Would that open up other opportunities for like non-DLI kids to like have art? Because I know like right now it's just art for DLI is the majority, and
It would open up additional opportunities, and I think too, I would be even open to having parents opt in of certain DLI class. So let's say you're a parent of a DLI kid, and you may say, you know what, I don't want you to take DLI or whatever for connections. I want you to get exposure to dance, or I want you to get exposure to something else. I think parents should have that autonomy if they wanted to explore, still having the DLI offerings, but again, looking at, what the autonomy we give families as well to have them, because we hear the feedback on like DLI kids are like in this bubble and they really don't necessarily get to meet and like have classes with other kids. And so taking that into consideration, just looking at what would be the best angle as far as just trying to mix and mingle different student groups here so everyone really gets the full experience. Some of these kids, they've been together since elementary school, they've been in the DLI program, and you can tell because either they love each other or either they hate each other. And so it's just what the lesser two evils, I guess. And so, but again, just further conversation, Margaret McKenzie's office, we actually have a meeting scheduled with her and Associate Superintendent Douglas, just looking at what this would look like for Sutton. And then for me, it would be strategic in sending out a survey to parents, sending out a survey to teachers, and just giving the data, giving the numbers, giving how much it's costing us, and what, and if this would be feasible and something that we think people would support. And that's,
DLI
gosh, be allowed to get the exact numbers.
approximately,
But the best is how many?
how many?
Usually around 100 something.
We have more than that.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, we're
100
still
per grade.
more than
Yes.
that.
I mean,
Yeah,
at least.
I get the
at
numbers.
least.
I get the numbers and follow up.
I think that's a really good idea. I think Margaret McKenzie is, to me thus far, having, my son was at the first cohort of Brandon, so the second cohort overall. So he's the second one to be at Northern. And he's doing biology in Spanish, but then taking every exam in English. And I'm like, I don't understand.
What's the point? Yeah.
What is the point, right? You're doing it to do it rather than using it in a way that gives you more one-on-one experience or the opportunity to
Yep.
speak. And these kids actually, I would think if you could find some way, like a class where there's like a conversational point to it too, because
Yep.
the kids are really good at reading and really good at writing, good at listening, but not that great at speaking because they don't have the opportunity to do it because they are learning these terms, these biology terms. That's what's the important part of it. And I don't think that part is working.
And they're not using that in conversation, their day-to-day conversation.
Yes, and and also like, I think when you speak to her about like Sutton being like the stepping stone to, of the program that connects elementary school to high school of like, I think it'd be great if that program kind of moved away from the elementary school model because it's really only serviceable there, I
Yeah.
think. And into a different form of it where the kids can still be considered DLI. Because I think that from what I understand, Margaret McKenzie is quite strict about what is considered DLI, unless she's not. So I think that the real world idea of it would have been great and would be great to then carry that on in North Atlanta too as they're going on, as opposed to the way they're doing it.
And I've already been in chat with conversations with Dr. Mitchell, principal at North Atlanta, not to speak for her, but I know she wouldn't mind. She's actually in support and agreement of doing a similar model for North Atlanta as well. So we're trying to make sure we're aligned in our approach to this. So it's seamless when kids leave here. They're basically doing the same thing, but it's not in the biology, it's not in the physical science. It's the regular, real world application of the classes being offered. She's all for that.
Yeah. Dr. Mitchell seems a little bit more flexible, whereas with it. So I think she would be really supportive of it.
So definitely, once we have that meeting, I'll just follow up and maybe an email with everyone, letting you know. I mean, we're on a quick turnaround here just because we're already in budget season, but I think it's worth exploring the conversation and seeing, what people have to say about it. And so in any event, that we're able to move forward, like I said, teacher survey, parent survey, we'll use that to make an informed decision.
So that's certainly next.
Yeah, for the upcoming school year.
Yeah.
Yep, that is the plan. And so that's the only proposed program changes, informal proposed program changes. And so now we're jumping into finalizing our 25 through 30 school strategic plan. You remember at our last meeting, we reviewed our mission and vision, we reviewed proposed goals, and we identified strategic objectives. This is our process where we are in step 5, approving the plan, ranking the objectives as we are at business meeting 4. All right, jumping right into it. So as you guys remember this is the document that we created our plan with our vision and mission, going back to strengthening our core. You guys remember this is aligned directly to the districts as far as caring for every child, sparking student curiosity. Our strength is our team, responsibility is shared, and our school is efficient and effective. So now it's time to take action on our strategic plan, and I'll go back to it just if anyone wanted to review it. If you guys recall, we did leave our mission and vision the same, and we developed our 3 goals based on 2030, where we want to be, a decrease in students being suspended, and of course, an increase in proficiency in ELA and math. And we said we would do that by, of course, meeting the unique and diverse learning needs of every student. My favorite, delivering the targeted instructional remediation and interventions to accelerate growth. And I'll let you guys read some of the others we shared there as far as caring for every child, sparking some curiosity and so forth. I think, Mr. Merriweather, do I turn it over to you?
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, our first action item is the 2025 to 2030 strategic plan. Do I have a motion to approve this item? Is there a second? Second. All in favor, please say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
All opposed, please say nay. Any abstentions, please say abstain. All right, motion approved.
All right, so next we're going to get into some discussion on strategic plan objectives and the rankings. And so based on what Ms. Lamar shared from the Google form, this is kind of the rankings that I pulled from that. I will be very honest, each year for the past 5 years, 4 years we've done this, it's always hard to really try to say this one is more important than the other because all of them really go together hand in hand. And so when I looked at like the first three, delivering targeted instruction, remediation interventions to accelerate growth, meeting the unique and diverse learning needs of every student, and embedding social emotional learning practices to build belonging and a positive school culture. And so, again, for me, personally, number one is just that kind of pen and like instruction, what we want to do to grow kids, what we want to do to accelerate them, and those not meeting those expectations, how do we support them? And everything else really just supports really number one, in my opinion. So again, I always hate, I wish they would kind of shift this because, you know, I don't think the others are,
Give us this.
well, they give us the kind of hate, I mean, I'm sorry, to rank them, what's high and what's low. And so, exactly. And so based on what we've said, I just kind of put this on the screen because I think our strategic plan reflects all of these. So just continuing on. And so now, is everyone okay with these?
All right. Our next action item,
There was definitely more.
Yeah.
So they all pull from here. Yes, 12. And so all 12 of them, I think the other two somehow are missing, but it's the the last two from our school is efficient and effective. Those two that we rank as well, staffing the school and aligning school operations and resources to maximize outcomes.
our next action item is ranking strategic plan objectives. Do I hear a motion to approve this item?
So we're just approving what?
Yes,
Okay.
yes, cool. Is there a second?
Yeah.
Second.
All in favor, please say aye. Aye.
Aye.
All opposed, please say nay. Any abstentions, please say abstain. All right, motion approved.
All right, so next we're jumping into our budget allocation. Now, this was optional, but I'm still going to jump into, and I wanted these slides to be there because right now we're in step 2, the district-wide budget allocation meeting. Typically in the past, they would put this on schools to do, but I think they had you guys sign up for these. I haven't, okay, so who's been to a session already? Okay.
I'm going tomorrow.
Okay, you're going tomorrow. And you will learn more about the budget allocation and how automatic lights and how they distribute funds to schools. And so
Watch it play. It's a lot of information there.
information overload.
A lot of questions.
So of course, here's the what, why, and when for our budget allocation meeting, discussing the school's budget. And it's an opportunity for us to make sure we're aligned in our priorities. So our executive summary for our budget. The third bullet here, we are getting roughly about $22 million for our budget, and I'm going to pull that slide up shortly. We have an increase for next school year where we have an increase of about 68 students. Now that number is never accurate because we always end up getting more. And so right now we are projected at about 1,706 students for the upcoming school year. So This is the allocation tab overview. It is a lot. I'll start from right to left. The right is the change that we're getting. The one in the middle is the previous school years, allocation, and the one on the left is the current one.
But this isn't ours.
This
So
is not,
what
it's
do you
just an
have?
example. I'm
Because I
gonna
was
pull
gonna
up,
say
ours is
minus
coming up next.
29.
Yes, ours is coming up next. And so you will see by grade level, how the per pupil allocation, you will see, I'm trying to think, is really tiny, and just how much money we are afforded from special education, for gifted, and different things that they give a formula to make this up. And so here is ours right here. I'm gonna pause for a second. If you remember by the right-hand side, that's the change. The one in the middle is last year's school allocations, and the one on the left, this upcoming school year allocation.
Or pure per pupil dollars are negative or less?
It's going down.
Okay.
But the way they did the formula, it's somehow, I mean, we still get 13,000 yet, so we're still fine there.
Okay.
Although we've got more kids. Yeah, it's interesting how they do the formula. And so you see the projections by 6th, 7th, and 8th grade, how many students that we will be receiving. If you see that 846 there for 6th grade, that's just the support for the 6th grade campus, as we will remain a dual campus school. The amount we get for the students classified as poverty, and it goes on to.
So they're projecting our poverty numbers are going down by 80 kids.
Based on the 140, yep.
And they just, based on our current demographics?
Current incoming
or-
demographics, that the information they have access to.
Oh, that's
as well.
right.
Yep.
So it's like the demographic data around the area.
Yep.
And then how about the EIP? Like, that seems kind of, how would they be able to tell that
Well,
based on that?
based on student data from previous years. So again, for us, because our current students, we have that information. And then we look at the elementary kids
Oh,
that's rolling
elementary
up as well.
Okay.
That's how we're also able to get projections there.
Okay.
And of course, special ed, gifted, and then the things that apply to us.
And ELL, English language learners, so
Mhm.
we're, wow, so 47. Okay, and that's also kind of trains in anything for geographic areas.
Any questions about this? Okay, there's another slide to this that I wanted to put. Yep. So this is part 2 of that. So you saw the first slide and then part 2, the innovative programming allotment. You previously in the past it was called signature programming. And so this is kind of the new shift where they've given schools flexibility around the signature program. While we're still keeping our signature program, we're still keeping our IB coach. So those things have not gone anywhere.
So where does this go to? What kind of programming?
The IB. So ours is still, but if some schools wanted to use it, for something else, they have that autonomy.
Okay.
But we're still
So we
using
still have to pay for it. We still have to pay for it
it as this.
out of this.
Yep.
Okay. So why do we do that? Lisa Bracken.
Yeah, Lisa Bracken question. Lisa Bracken's email. I just believe that I honestly believe they're looking at with the signature programs. What are they doing to produce student outcomes? And
Yeah,
so
that's right. How are they measuring?
Yep, how are they measuring it? And so is it a need? So I think schools are adamant about using that money for what they want it to, and this
Yeah,
is just an opportunity
right.
for them. So again, very high level. This was not meant to be a very deep detailed conversation because when you do your trainings on it, you get all of the information there. So this is just where we're going regarding next steps for our budget. We will have our feedback and discussion meeting next. So at our next time we come and meet, I'll be able to give feedback based on the meeting I have with the budget office, associate superintendent, and the staffing directors. And so what's next? February, we'll have our feedback meeting. We'll take action on the draft budget before the staffing conference, and it kind of goes into details on the superintendent reviews it, staffing conferences, and in March, it gives details on where we're headed in March.
Is that February meeting, the 10th?
Okay. And so we're good with the timeline, with meeting the deadline. Okay. Alrighty. And And so if we don't have any questions, jumping right into informational items, principal's report. They wanted us to discuss CCRPI results. Then we're gonna jump into cluster advisory team report if we have any information to share. And so let's get into our CCRPI, which you guys know is that is the index that's used by the state, the governor's office of student achievement, how schools are rated, how they're scored, how they're compared to other schools in the state, and et cetera. So starting off on this slide, this is content mastery, and this basically addresses our students if they're at the level to be prepared for the next grade level. And so it basically includes achievement scores and ELA, math, science, and social studies from the milestones. And so at the first bracket or the first bar, you see Atlanta Public Schools, the content mastery score, 54.9%. You see the overall Georgia score, 65.6. And then you see Sutton's at 75.5. And so when you do the math of the ELA, math, science, and social studies, formulate all that together, we have a score of content mastery at 75.5, which is an increase of about 3.1 from the previous school year. Up next, progress. Progress measures our students' growth in English language arts and mathematics, and also how our ELL learners, how they're progressing towards English language proficiency. So again, you see the overall APS score at 86.1, the state score at 83.1, and although we did take a slight dip, we are at 88.6, still higher than both the state and Atlanta Public Schools, our district. As we continue with CCRPI, we're looking at closing gaps, which is that all student groups are making improvements in their achievement rates. And so Atlanta, our APS score, 81.6, state score, 86.3. We did take a dip there at 82.4, still higher than the district. And again, this is based on those achievement improvement targets that the state says, hey, this subgroup has to get this score, and this subgroup has to get that score. And so, of course, when it comes to planning and instruction, that's what the school teams, what we're doing weekly to make sure we can increase in closing the gap to make sure all of our subgroups are meeting the expectation. Readiness measures whether our students are participating in activities preparing them for readiness in the next level, college, career, and beyond. APS score 75.9, Georgia score, the state score 83.2, and Sutton we have an increase 1.8 percentage points, falling at 86.1. And so of course they use this information they use our students' grade level reading data to determine readiness as well. So where our students are reading on grade level. And of course you factor in student attendance, you factor in accelerated enrollment, and different opportunities that we do offer our kids. And so again, another component of being higher than both the state and the district. And then overall, I wanted to put this up for everyone to see. This is our actual cumulative score that we get as a school. And so when you factor in all the data and all the things, we get one report card score. And so back in 2018, when we did this, we had an 82.8, 2019, 85.2, and then they years. And then we started getting a school report card score again back in 2024, where we were at an 82.4. And then this previous school year, we were at an 83.2. And so the number above the 83.2, that is the score of the state. So we look at all middle schools in the state of Georgia. That cumulative score is a 78.4 as a report card. And of course, Sutton score is factored into that. But this goes to show that we are on the right track, we're on the right road, and the ball is moving where it should be. And so again, the state scores historically that I wanted to share with everyone. Any questions about this? All right, up next on my end, school updates, academic planners, GMAS readiness. Those are the two things I thought about. For me, it makes me smile knowing that I'm not walking in the hallway seeing planners just thrown on the floor or just lost. Students are definitely utilizing them when I'm popping into classrooms. It's nice hearing teachers reinforce the importance of using them, but seeing students actually write and they're being organized and they're actually taking the time to keep up with them, that's exactly what we want. I know in alignment with North Atlanta High School, they use planners as well. And so we want to make sure we're consistent with how we're preparing our kids. And so Up next, we are looking to continue to incentivize our kids to keep utilizing the planners. And so the team and I, we are looking at ways we can do a walk and talk, weather permitting. That seems like the kids care about anyway, just walk and talks, or something during lunch where we can maybe give them ice cream or food of this sort. But again, the academic planners, all grade levels, they've been an amazing hit for focusing on executive functioning and strengthening our kids there. And right now, just GMAS readiness, making sure that rigor is being, brought full force in all classrooms. Kids are experiencing what they will be experiencing on the Georgia milestones. I know in ELA, they're practicing their writing, doing writing drills. You come in, you sit, timers on the wall. You have this much time to read the prompt, then start writing and produce your final result in 55 minutes. So again, getting those drills and things out the way from the ELA side. And so that's really where our mindset is, making sure we're ready in all content areas. And all content areas are really working on making sure the kids are ready for the Georgia milestones as well. So those were the two main school things that I did want to lift that I could think of.
How about map? What are your map scores?
Yeah, when the map scores.
Those?
So that wasn't on there. It was more of the focus for CCR PI, but that information is readily available as well. Map scores, I thought we did map scores last time. I guess we didn't. And so map scores look really amazing as well. We saw more students in proficient and distinguished, less students in beginning and developing at a very high level. And so it's interesting. Traditionally, in my 10 years of being here, students take the initial map scores in August. They take the second one, and the scores dip. In this case, the scores did not dip because, this year we're only taking map twice. We're not taking it 3 times. We just opted to 2 to try to alleviate some of the mass testing that our students do when it comes to all of these assessments. Any other
Do
questions?
we see those scores, like school-wide scores somewhere?
Yes,
They,
in
like,
APS
macro
graphs.
unit?
Yeah, they're
Oh,
available.
okay. For the APS.
Yep, APS graphs.
Insights.
Yep, insights.
Okay.
Yep, and you just look at map and you can see all those scores there. Who's on cluster advisory team?
I am, we haven't had a meeting since, I think, like, October, I feel like.
All right, quick and easy.
So the good news is we're not combining
We're still saying 2 campuses.
two campuses.
Yep. And again, Jennifer McDonald, our board member, she was a huge advocate
Yeah,
and,
she
going
was.
to bat for us. So thank Jennifer McDonald, who's done an exceptional job advocating for us.
The next cluster advisory meeting's February.
February,
So,
okay, so
yeah.
we'll have a report then.
Yeah.
Okay. Sounds good. Announcements?
Does anyone have any announcements? Just if you didn't sign up for the, budget training, make sure you do so. I think tomorrow's the last one the district's offering. So get that done today.
Have you guys had a lot of parents, filling out the survey for the, I saw that in the sub source about making sure, advocating 6th grade bus route, 7th and 8th grade. Do we need to push that again? That
I'll follow up with PTA.
survey?
Yeah, the last.
That's PTA.
Yeah,
Oh, it is. Okay.
Yeah, well, do you mean pushing it through to the community?
Yeah,
I
just
mean, I
like,
don't know
have
if
you had
you've heard
any
any
response?
Yeah, I don't know if you've heard any
I
response.
some people are unconscious sometimes, so I'm wondering if we should push it out again.
or let's look at the results and see that we have a lot of just input from stakeholders. I haven't been able to get access to the actual link to look at the results. I know before we left, Amanda and I, we were at a conference and they had a PTA meeting. And so we'll just follow up and see what's the engagement looking like with that. And they'll let us know if we need to kind of push it out to the source, or if I need to send something out via IC blast.
Do they about like how many Let's Talk, because what we pushed was to go to Let's Talk. So
I don't
do
even
they
know if everyone
give
knows
you
how to
any
use it.
information on how many Let's Talk like entries you get? Is that anything?
Yay and nay. Sometimes I get them, sometimes I don't, because for the most part, because I don't have autonomy over the buses, they would just ship that to the transportation department.
Okay.
And sometimes they may make a mistake and send something my way, but
Okay.
for the most part, no, they always ship them right to transportation.
Okay.
Did we give people directives that it needed to be sent to transportation?
The directive was to, because that's where you fill out information about the bus, and Let's Talk being like, we're told the most effective way to get the attention on
Yes.
the issue. And that's what we pushed to the source the last 2 or 3 weeks. We could do
Probably be
more.
effective if you did it.
I just didn't know what kind of heat you would get if you did that through IC. I don't know.
I mean, I think I have a way of my words in sharing that, hey, this is not a Merriweather is not responsible for buses. However, I can spin it. Yeah,
Okay.
especially if we didn't get the engagement because we still have to send out some school climate surveys to families where that's where the school is ranked on. Is it a safe school? Is it all these things about the school? And so just trying to manage, the number of times I reach out to families, of
Yeah.
course. But we'll review it and, from the auto mindset out. Because I mean, people, they'll see it again, so wouldn't hurt. Any other announcements or anything? That's cool.
We have reached the end of our agenda. Is there any additional business at this time? May I have a motion to adjourn the meeting?
Motion to adjourn.
A second? All in favor, please say aye.
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 All opposed, please say nay. Any abstentions, please say abstain. All right, meeting is adjourned, 6:17.
All right, so our online plans, thank you for joining us. Joel, feel better.
Thanks, y'all.
See ya. Bye.
See ya. Bye.